In this video, we're going to look at my top 3 budget gaming monitors in 2020 for PC as well as consoles, and we're starting right now. These are some of the questions I'm going to answer in this video, and at any time feel free to check out the links to each product mentioned in the video description down below. And with that said, let's first look at what I believe might be the best QHT 144 1 millisecond monitor for its price tag. It's called AOC CQ32G1. It is slightly curved, 1800R. Again, we got QHD or 2560 by 1440 pixels. It's a VA panel which stands for vertical alignment, and vertical alignment is known for having great contrast ratio and better black levels than other types of panels. Viewing angles are however known for being typically worse. But yeah, we're gonna dive much deeper into the difference between panels and what you need to know and what you need to have in mind before picking up monitor later in this video. Now, this monitor also got AMD FreeSync. It is also G-Sync compatible, which works pretty good. So yeah, after been testing this out, let's talk about the good and the bad, and let's start with the good stuff. This is a huge monitor. It is 1800R curved, and after been testing this out for a couple of weeks, I was blown away, hands down. Colors and black levels are also top notch. It is QHD and 1440p, and so it feels pretty good for this size also. But yeah, 4K would obviously been even better. 144Hz is also very nice, and I believe that this is a must for competitive shooters such as Fortnite and CSGO. And once you've tried 144Hz, there is no way you wanna go back to 60Hz. It is actually that good. We also got VESA mounties on the back, so you can mount it on a wall or on an arm if you want to. That all being said, not everything is bells and whistles, and there are a few things that you need to be aware of here. This monitor does not support HDR, but generally at the sub 300 price point, you're typically only getting HDR 400, which is pretty worthless anyway. Colors out of the box also look a bit yellowish, but most of this can be fixed with your naked eye. And finally, the biggest bummer, the limitations that comes with this stand. There is not a whole lot you can do here except for tilting. Having the price in mind, this is pretty expected. Amazon is currently asking $319 for this, which makes it one of the best 4040p gaming monitors right now. And if you haven't tried 32-inch and 1440p and curved before, it is pretty breathtaking, and I simply cannot recommend this monitor enough to anyone that wanna take their gaming experience to the next level. This is the perfect upgrade if you're sitting on a 144Hz 1080p monitor right now, but you wanna take your experience to the next level without having to spend that much. You'll find more information about this monitor down in the video description. Now, a 32-inch and 1440p are a bit too much. AOC actually sells a 24-inch model with a 1080p panel as well. Similar to its bigger brother, the C24G1 is also slightly curved, more specifically in so-called R1500. After been jumping back and forth between curved and flat panels, I do feel like curved monitors add more immersion to the gaming experience, and I would highly recommend that you try this out if you haven't tried it before. Now, before I tried curved monitors for the first time, I was very skeptical, mostly because I didn't like it on TVs, but because you're only sitting a few inches away from a gaming monitor, because it swoops around the face, gives you a better experience. As always, if you are skeptical, I highly recommend you visit the local shop and give it a try before making a decision. Again, similar to its bigger brother, the C24G1 comes with a VA panel, so great contrast and less awesome viewing angles. It's got an 8-bit panel and 75% Adobe RGB. Again, I will go over and explain the difference between the most common panel types later in this video if you're interested. We're getting 144Hz refresh rate, which is great if you're playing fast-paced shooters, although for console gaming you will do more than just fine with just 60Hz. And so for that reason, I do have another monitor that we're gonna look at in just a second if you're that type of gamer. Anyway, in terms of response time, 4 millisecond GTG or gray to gray, or 1 millisecond MPRT, which stands for moving pictures response time, and this is a way of measuring how fast the monitor can light up a pixel pixel. The technical shenanigans out of the way, what's most important here is that yes, it is fast enough for gaming and you're going to be completely happy with it. It's got dual HDMI 1.4 as well as a single DisplayPort 1.2, and right now Amazon is having this on sale and you can find it for just $144, which in my opinion makes it one of the best 144Hz 1080p gaming monitors available right now. And yeah, there is not much to complain about here, to be frank. It is basically the CQ32G but smaller. In case you're interested, you find more information down in the description. With that said, let's look at my budget 4K recommendation. In case you want to take the big leap and skip 4040p and just jump on 4K without having to empty your bank account, I want to quickly show you guys my 4K recommendation. This is Philips and they got a ridiculously long model name actually. It's called 276E8VGS B, and as the name hints, it's a 27-inch 4K 60Hz monitor. And why should you buy this? This is the perfect choice, not just if you're a PC gamer, but if you're a console gamer too. You're gonna love the level of details you're going to get here, as you're gonna be able to take full advantage of every bit of performance that both Xbox One as well as PS4 have to offer, without having to spend extra for faster refresh rate that you won't really be able to take advantage of anyway, as most console games are capped at 60 FPS. But yeah, what about PC gaming then? Well, in case you don't have a very powerful PC like an RTX 2080 Ti or an RX 5700 XT, reaching 60 FPS in 4K is still not very common, and so while we're waiting for more powerful graphics cards that can deliver the high number of frame rate, 4K and 60Hz is still a pretty good idea if you want to get away pretty cheap. This one from Philips got an IPS panel, so you're getting nice looking colors with deep levels of black even from the sides. It's got a 5 millisecond response time for 60 FPS or 60 Hz. Gaming, it's definitely more than enough. In terms of I/O, we're getting a dual HDMI 2.0 as well as a single DisplayPort 1.2, and currently you can pick this up for as low as $244, which is in my opinion one of the best budget 4K displays that you can pick up right now for both PC as well as console gaming in 2020. Now if you have a very limited budget, this is what I recommend for just under $100. So this one is called Acer SB220Q and it's the cheapest one on the list, and you can currently pick it up for just $100, but despite its small price tag, it offers fantastic price and performance. It's a 21.5-inch IPS display, Full HD or 1920 by 1080. It's got 4 millisecond response time, and in terms of brightness, 240 nits. It's got AMD FreeSync, and in terms of refresh rate, it can go as high as 75 Hz in 1920 by 1080, and the difference between 60 and 75 Hz is actually noticeable. And now in terms of I/O, we're getting a single VGA, analog VGA, which I highly recommend that you don't use, and instead, yeah, you want to rely on the single HDMI that you also find on this monitor. Now something to have in mind is that an HDMI is not included, so I highly recommend that you also pick up an HDMI cable if you decide to purchase this monitor. Now for $80, this is one of the cheapest alternatives that you can find right now, and I cannot recommend this if you're looking to, if you're looking for a great monitor for your Xbox, your PS4 or your PC gaming rig. And you find more information about this product down in the video description. So what is response time and refresh rate? Now measured in milliseconds, the response time signifies the time a pixel needs to transition from one shade of gray to another. Faster response time helps remove the smearing of moving images, providing a smoother picture. Typically a response time of 4 to 5 milliseconds is enough, especially if the display is limited to 60 Hz. Now what about refresh rate then? So the refresh rate of a monitor is the time per second it takes to update images on the screen, and this is measured in Hertz. And most LCD monitors have a 60 Hz refresh rate, meaning that it can refresh 60 times per second, and so for any game that runs or plays very fast, a faster display is always going to be the better choice, as faster, more frequent updates will help reduce the blurry images and eliminate what is so-called screen tearing. And so if you're playing a lot of first-person shooters, fighting games or racing games where speed of refreshing images on your screen is crucial, I highly recommend to stay away from 60Hz and look for something like 120, 144 or perhaps 240Hz, as faster refresh rate is going to give you a smoother experience. Now keep in mind, for this to work, your PC needs to be powerful enough to feed the monitor with enough numbers of frames every second. This does however not apply for console gaming, as 60Hz is still standard here. Now let's talk about panel type. So every type of display has its advantages and its disadvantages. Let's start with TN or twisted nematic. Now TN panels are the most affordable panel type. These typically have a fast response time and refresh rate, but when you look at the monitor from different angles, you will discover some color shifting, and the best way of using this type of monitor is to sit right in front of the monitor when you're playing a game. Now VA or vertical alignment have a high contrast ratio, solid colors and the ability to display deep black levels, but with the disadvantage of having poor viewing angles, and they also might produce noticeable ghosting effects. Therefore, when choosing a VA panel, it is very nice if the monitor has something called FreeSync, which can eliminate the ghosting effect. I should also add that the monitors I've been talking about in this video are all FreeSync compatible. Lastly, we got something called in-plane switching or IPS panels, which have the best encompassing color quality. It also got robust grayscale performance and wide viewing angles. However, it cannot really match the response time you're getting from a TN panel. IPS panels are also prone to motion artifacts, and therefore one of the great reasons of having YouTube is to look up reviews before making a decision. In case you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. I'm gonna do my best to help you guys out. In the meantime, watch either of these two videos for more awesome content. In the meantime, I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, you guys have an awesome day, alright?